The following program is brought to you by the Internet Broadcasting Organization.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2 Cent Sports and Entertainment Show. I am your host and producer today, The Coach. Yeah, it's really weird that, I'm hosting the show also and working the mixer board at the same time, but, we had some interesting things happen this morning. Scuba has to take care of something that is way more important than doing the show tonight, not tonight. You see, it shows how tired I am, and I'll get into why I'm so tired in a little bit, but, we had an unfortunate accident of a studio associate, and that's why we're going on a little late. No problem at all. We're glad you're okay. Also, like I said, Scuba's working on moving into a brand new home, baby. It's going to be a really nice one, and probably I'm going to be hanging over there a little bit, because Scuba's my man. Anyway, I'm the coach of the 2 Cent Sports and Entertainment Show. We're live every Sunday from 11 to 1 Eastern Standard Time. Even though today we got started at 11:30, but, it's all good. So, real quick, before I jump into any content, I'd like to go over what I normally go over at the beginning and end of each show. That is our sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Mike Butash and Donovan, attorneys at law of Butash and Donovan. Also a part of the Butash and Donovan hotline. If you guys would like to call in on any topic discussed today on the Butash and Donovan hotline, the phone number is 813-639-8255, and I'll make sure and take your call. Basically how that works is you're going to call the phone. I'm going to answer. Now, I can only pretty much take, I'll take calls. I'll answer, and then you'll either be live on air. If we're at a break, I'll answer, and then I'll ask you to call back, okay? Or I will call you back, so just be ready. Thank you for Tech Media Partners. Thomas Wilsey, I appreciate what you do for the show. That's techmediapartners.com if you guys would like to check that out. Check out the Facebook page, the 2 Cent Sports and Entertainment Show Facebook page. Get on there, give it a like. Comment. Tell us what you like and what you don't like about the show, what you'd like to see a little more of, which is obviously the coach on the camera. I'm just kidding. What's really cool is I actually hooked up 2 cameras. I have one pointing at my face, and then I have another one. This is what Scuba sees through the glass right there. That's what he sees from behind the glass at the main desk. Thank you to our unofficial sponsor, Arizona Tea. Normally it's Monster, so I'll give a quick shout out to Monster, but I have Arizona Tea today. That's some good stuff, guys. You got to get some of that. Go to your local convenience store. But let's get started. But of course, at 2 Cent Zach, you got to follow me on Twitter. Even though Scuba doesn't tweet, and that's why I almost forgot about it, because we're trying to forget the Twitter, But I figured I would mention it. Make sure and call in 813-639-8255 is the phone number. Toll free for all you cheap people out there. Oh, man. So let's get the show started. Why am I so tired? Well, it's probably because Scuba and I went all over the place yesterday. We started off in Lutz, where we both reside. Then we went all the way down to Clearwater to go see the UConn Huskies play their final game in the American Athletic Conference tournament at Bright House Field. Unfortunately, UConn went 1-2. They lost to UCF the first day, which was Wednesday. They beat Houston, which is a top 25 team, the second day on Thursday, which I was present for. They beat them. They killed them. 7-2. I believe it was 7-2. And then they lost yesterday to a team that's not ranked, a team that barely had a 500 record in Temple. It made no sense. After the game, I caught up with Tom Verdi, a shortstop for the UConn Huskies. You know, we were really emotional because Tom, you know, and I want to thank you again because I'm sure you're going to check the show out sometime, maybe on the replay or maybe you're watching it now. So I'd like to thank you. Why am I thanking you? I'm thanking you because of what you've done for my little sister. Everyone knows that I have a little sister named Savannah, and, you know, she had Tom from the UConn Huskies. She's like, wow, he's a hunk. And ever since then, she started loving Tom 4 years ago when he was a freshman. Earlier yesterday morning was his last UConn baseball game. He came straight over to my sister crying. And, you know, he said, Savannah, I hope you do great in life and good luck in everything that you do. You have done so much for me. Came over, Scuba and I hugged us both. You know, Tom, we appreciate everything you've done for my little sister. Seriously, and thank you for everything that you've done for the UConn Huskies. And I can't wait to see the tournament next year. And this is the tournament. Remember, guys, it's the American Athletic Conference tournament. Every year it's hosted in Clearwater, Florida, at Bright House Field, where, for those that are unfamiliar, where the Clearwater Threshers play their spring training game. Or, excuse me, they play their season, and the Philadelphia Phillies play their spring training. Make sure and check that out next year. It's in May, you know, it's around the 23rd, 24th, 25th, you know. But thank you for the UConn Huskies. Thanks, Jim Penders. You know, I have the best seat in the house. I really do. As you could probably tell from our promo that we posted. God, I look so ugly. Did you see how that video came out? It was like, oh, God. You know, Scuba always finds the great moments to capture of me. And then, think about this. You're out there in the sun. Okay, and look at this. I'm burnt. Look at my nose. Look at my nose. My entire face. I look like a freaking, I don't even know what's red. I look like a cardinal. Even though that's a really terrible analogy. My legs are burnt. So, wait a minute. Now that brings up something for me also. So, being sunburnt. Scuba and I were sitting there at the game, and I have a stepdad, his name is John, and he sat there, burnt to a crisp, knees just completely fried, okay? And he sits there, and I don't know how the heck he does it, he's crazy, okay? He sits there, and he lays there like this. You see, and now you can see that my legs are burnt, look at this. He sits there like that with with his feet up on top of the rail. Up top by the wall, right by the dugout. And he just sits there and cooks. I don't know how he does it. It's stupid. It's crazy. See, he did it Wednesday when he took my sister to the game against Yusuf, as my mom likes to call it, which is UCF. And then, on top of that, he comes back out, no sunscreen again on Thursday. But wait a minute, there's more. He comes back out Saturday with no sunscreen. You're an animal. 813-639-8255. If you guys have any comments on the UConn baseball tournament, or the AAC tournament for that matter, excuse me, give me a call. If you have any college baseball insight or questions that I can answer, I would love to do it because, you know, I'm a huge college baseball fan and I'm following each and every tournament. So if you guys have any comments, you know, on any of the tournaments, on any of the teams, please bring them to me. 813-639-8255 or 813-NEW-TALK. Toll free for all you cheap people out there. So, think about this. And then I went to Pete and Shorty's. Got some shorty burgers, got a big thing of tater tots. And this is what Scuba and I look forward to each and every show. Then we head over to the Tampa Bay Times Forum, where we check out our local arena football team, the Tampa Bay Storm. And remember, we have credentials, so we can get in for free. We get to go eat the buffets. And I know Scuba was going to read the list off today, but I have the list. You ready for this? The Cooper's consumption list against the Jacksonville Jags. Tired. Against the Jacksonville Sharks, May 24th. 3 brisket sandwiches. 2 pieces of chicken. 7 cookies. Chocolate chip, I might add. 6 Cokes. An Italian sausage. Mashed potatoes. Green beans. More green beans. A salad. And you guessed it, more cookies. See, and I wonder why people call me fat. I sit here and I'm like, but I'm not. Yeah, okay. Now I just set myself up for being fat and being called fat for the rest of my life. And unfortunately, that thought has never run through my head until just now. Isn't it crazy? That's awful. Anyway, the Tampa Bay Storm, baby, they took it to the Jacksonville Sharks. Boom. We are, I believe Scuba said we were either 1 and... I'm trying to remember, okay, because Scuba says some pretty interesting things. We were either 1 and 6 or 1... I think it was 1 and 8 against the Jacksonville Sharks in coming into this game. And then we ended up taking the game 56-35. Now, I'm going to start getting video of me being such a buffoon, yelling at the referees all the time, but they missed every single holding call. It was pretty pathetic. Randy Hippert, who we've been, dogging on the show, he came back from IR. He was looking good. He came out and threw 6 touchdowns. 6 touchdowns. And you know what? He only underthrew 2 balls, which were both picked off. They broke the Tampa Bay Storm broke a 5-game losing streak in the Southern Division. A season-high crowd of 12,501 people, which there was definitely not 12,501 people there because the Forum only holds 19,000, and the top deck had 0 in it. Hippert threw for 255 yards. He was 21 of 29. Joe Hills led the Storm. Freaking 3 touchdowns. Beautiful. T.T. Tolliver's spectacular touchdown catch off the turf and in the end zone with 1 second left that sparked that 28-point quarter, which was the end of the second quarter. With the Storm going into halftime with 42-21, Scuba and I were like, yeah, this is nice. I like this. But in arena football, you never know. You never know what's really going to happen. We've seen when the Storm had the game won, Randy Hippert takes a QB sneak up the middle, fumbles the ball, and Orlando recovers it. And Orlando scored, and we lost with 9 seconds left in the freaking game. In arena football, it's one of the few sports you don't know what the hell's going to happen. Your fate's not secured. Nothing is great. Nothing is set. Quarterback R.J. Archer led Jacksonville, the 3-7 team, with 5 touchdowns and 271 yards. That's one thing that I'm going to get into before I take our first break. And when I go to break, you guys will be able to see not one, but both of the Tampa Bay Storm interviews that Scuba captured last night at Media Press Day after the game. Coach Hovan, Coach K, you guys have a good defense, okay? The only thing is they can't get off offensive linemen that hold. I'm not sitting here trying to coach, okay, by any means. I'm not trying to coach and tell Coach Hovan and Coach K. And I mean, those guys have 50 years of experience total together because I know Coach K's been coaching for at least 40 years. They can't get off people that hold, folks. When someone's up in here, and I know you guys are watching, when someone has their pads up here, they can't get off of them. You punch down, you punch up, you do whatever you got to do to get off. you know what? And that's something I guarantee you they're going to work on in practice. They're going to work on that at practice this upcoming week. And they're also, what I think, I believe, and I may be wrong. No, you know what? I'm not wrong because I'm the coach. We play the New Orleans Voodoo this upcoming week. I believe we are at New Orleans because, yes, we are at New Orleans because New Orleans came here the first game of the season, May 30th, 2014. Our next home game is against the Philadelphia Soul, June 7th, who we've split with. Which shows that in arena football, nothing is set because we went out to Philly, or excuse me, yeah, we killed Philly. We killed them the first time we played them. And the second time we got killed. Makes no sense. Any arena football comments, give them to me. 813-639-8255, toll free. Please call. That's the thing is, a lot of people that are afraid to call. Go ahead and just message me at Zachary Cooper on Facebook. Tweet me at 2CentZach or direct message me on 2 Cent Sports and Entertainment Show, the fan page, and I'll read your comment on air. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Later today, we have the Redskins, whether they should change their name or not. The reason I'm covering that again is because there was something else that happened in the news from former Buccaneers general manager. A little bit of baseball. How about them Rays? How about them Rays? We'll be right back on the 2 Cent Show.
We stuck together as a team. We had every right to go out there and fold, and things weren't going our way. But the guys really responded. They paid attention to detail, like we always preach. And we won all phases of the football game: offense, defense, and special teams. The kick by one off the bar was huge. It was huge. Guys went down there and they hustled. We got that play, and it just snowballed on them. So, it's a credit to our guys, the way they hustled, credit to the coaching staff, the way they prepared them, and we're just trying to keep it going.
Let's talk about Randy's play in particular. Looked super comfortable out there, especially in the first half. What did you see from him, especially coming off the injury?
I think I really think he played with a lot of poise, and he let the game come to him instead of trying to force everything. But, I thought that over the time that he was injured, he kept continuing coming in, helping the guys, watching film. It's big, and I think he matured over the time he was on.
Talk a little about that play to Bama.
We've been waiting on that all year. He's been on me. So, when it comes out of that, it's a game plan thing, and we knew it would be open. And we practiced that. If you noticed that, we practiced that in practice. I was making him run to the end zone on Thursday, and I told him to get in when you catch it, and he got in. So it's credit to Bama.
Does it feel good to have this losing streak behind you now?
Oh, it feels good. It feels good for our team. The morale of our team is up. I think that with that being up, we have a chance now. And the guys know it. They're upbeat. They're upbeat. They're happy, and that's the way we want to keep it.
You can let them know that Orlando lost tonight, Coach, and with the schedule coming up, you really got a chance to stay in the thick of things. What do you tell the guys at this point?
Well, as a player, I've been here before, and now as a coach, I'm here in this situation. A couple wins in this league can put you right back in the race. So our guys always do is to go out, execute, and win each week. Pay attention to detail, pay attention to coaches. And nail our game plan down. If we nail our game plan down, we have a shot. Big win on our guys.
Thank you, Coach. All right, talk about being back. How'd you feel out there?
It's just great to be back out there with the guys. I've been out for a couple weeks now, and we had the bye week, and then last week just to be watching them on TV and not to be out there fighting with them, it was a little tough. But it was good to be out there and to come out and play like we did made it that much better.
Talk about that play to Bama.
Oh, he's been itching for that all year. He's got on me a couple times. I thrown a screen to Dex instead of him, and he claims he was open. He had 4 people on him, so it was nice to see the big man get in the end zone.
What does this win do for the team?
It gets the monkey off our back, so to speak. I mean, we were in a slump there for a little bit, and to come out tonight and to fire on all cylinders like we were with our backs against the wall and play as well as we did offensively, defensively, and special teams wise. I mean, it's just great pick-me-up for us. Our season isn't over. We're very much in it right now.
You look really comfortable out there tonight. I mean, what was the difference between before your injury? Was it maybe the time off, or?
Well, I mean, the time off and the bye week helped, and having an injury, you can't do too much with a knee injury, so it was a lot of sitting around watching film and evaluating myself, trying to figure out what I need to do better, what I think we can do better offensively, and I think we mixed it up a lot better tonight. We used a lot more guys in motion, and we did a lot of things to keep the defense off balance, and I think it showed out there.
You're right. With Orlando losing tonight, that obviously puts you guys in a good position going into New Orleans next week, or Iowa and Orlando after that. How do you carry the team from this point forward?
We just take it game by game. We got to come in and we play a good team next week, and we got to go to their house. So we got to get back in the film room, and it starts now. We got to enjoy this one tonight, sleep on it, and when we wake up in the morning, we got to get it to New Orleans.
Welcome back to the 2 Cents Sports and Entertainment Show. 813-639-8255, the phone number, toll free. Give us a call for all you cheap people out there. You want to know something that I just was? Yeah, I was getting ready to get into the Redskins topic, and then I just got a message, and this is cool. This is cool. But by the way, do you guys like that Studley picture of me for the commercials? I look good, headset and everything. Sorry. I admire myself. Now this is cool, okay? And this is for all you gaming people out there that sit there, 5 o'clock shadow, sit there with your controller, yeah. Oh, he's going around the corner. Snipe him! Snipe him. Well, to capitalize on a rapidly growing competitive league right in the heart of its demographic, the X Games, together now with the Major League Gaming, announced that there will be a Call of Duty tournament. A part of the X Games starting in June. Really? Call of Duty. Okay. A little weird. Unless you're one of those people who sits on their couch, doesn't get up, just sits there, picking at your belly button, eating Cheetos and sitting there. Boom, 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 Wow, I've lost it already. Scoob and I lost the show about an hour and 45 minutes in when Fernando gave us a call. Fernando! Yeah. But I'd say I pretty much lost it about 20 minutes into the show. My fault. But anyway, so guys, for all you gaming nerds out there, you nerds, they have a Call of Duty tournament at the X Games. So make sure, and remember, because the X Games are televised, make sure you get on TV and make sure you click on Verizon or Bright House or whatever your dish networks, direct TVs, and go watch the X Games and watch people play Call of Duty for 17 hours straight. Yay! Come on. I know I'm coming off to like a jerk. But, hey, remember, if you have a comment on this, give me a call, 813-639-8255. I believe the phone number's flashed up on my screen. Indeed it is. Think about that. Give me a call. My face is burnt, and it hurts. Like, watch, you push my nose, and see that? You guys see that? Watch. Yeah, it hurts really bad. 813-639-8255. Gonna jump on the Redskins. That's right, I said it. The Washington Redskins. Which is what the name should be. Now, why am I sitting here saying that the Redskins' name should be the Redskins? Well, it's probably because everyone seems... You know what? I'll correct that. Let me correct that again. The government and Scuba believe that the Washington Redskins should change their name. Sorry for that annoying noise. I'm trying to get this thing away from my mouth because I'm going to start yelling a little bit. You know, it's sickening to me that after over 80 years, the people want name changes. Give me a break. For God's sake, you want the Redskins to change their name, yet you sit here and you don't question the Chicago Blackhawks, you don't question the Florida State Seminoles, you don't question these things. You just let it go. You know, you want to talk about, saying the Redskins, it's racist. Come on. Get out of here, as Tom Krasnicki on 620 WDAE would say. Get out of here. Racist. You know what could be deemed as wrong is a man dressing up as an Indian, jumping on a horse, riding out through a tunnel, and sticking a spear in the middle of the damn football field. That can be considered wrong. But nobody says anything. People who are Florida State fans, such as Scuba, and I know he's going to fire back at me, or he may even call into the show, which would make me really happy, would be... Oh, God. It's idiotic, folks. It's idiotic. 81 years this team has been around, and it's racist. St. John's changed their name from the Redmen to the Red Storm. Okay. And? They're stupid. North Dakota changed their name to the Bisons from the Fighting the Fighting Sioux. Come on, man. I'm sick of this crap. There's only one name. Only one name the Redskins could change their name to, and that is the Redskins. They should not change their name. It's idiotic. And just downright stupid. And I'm posting on Facebook right now, if you guys would like to comment, should the Redskins change their name? Change the name of the team? Call me. 813-639-8255. Give me your thoughts. If you want to join in on the conversation, you can also message me directly on the 2 Cents Sports and Entertainment Show Facebook page. I can't deal with this. This is stupid. And let me tell you, here is something that was published earlier on in the year. You ready for this? This is what's stupid. You know, there's people that come out with, the name should be changed. Okay, well, let's look at what these people and you people want the name to be changed to. The Washington Warriors. Come on. The Washington Pigskins? You know how stupid you people sound when you say the Washington Pigskins? Come on! The Washington Hogs. That's funny. It's because they used to be called, the offensive line used to be called the Hogs. Whatever. The Washington Senators. The government may have a problem with that because they use the name Senator. Or a bonus recommendation that I'm glad that they put in, the Maryland Crabs, because it's actually located on the borders of Maryland. Well, thank you. Thank you for telling me that I should change my name not only from the Washington Redskins, but to the Maryland Crabs. You know, that's stupid. That is downright idiotic, pathetic, and stupid. To be quite honest with you. Because, people sit here and they make fun of these names. Okay? But you want to know what the Washington... Ooh, I messed up on the mixer. What the Washington or the Maryland Crabs would make me feel like?
Crab people, crab people, crab people.
See now where we have been forced to live for 1,000 years.
But soon we shall rule the land above, and mankind will be gone.
Gone? Crab people, crab people.
Crab people are too small and weak to take over man by force. And so we came up with our perfect plan.
Crab people.
If you can't beat man, change man.
I knew it! I knew gay people would never do this to their own kind!
When all the world is metrosexual, the crab people shall finally reign supreme!
Crab people, taste like crab, talk like people. Crab people.
Thank you. Because, you see, now Scuba's definitely going to call him, because yesterday at the AAC tournament, I'm sitting there, son really getting to me. And I'm just sitting there just randomly, crab people, they look like crabs, but they talk like people. Let's not change our name to the Maryland Crabs. Oh, and here's another one, the Washington Redhawks, because a small number of people suggested this nickname, and it is not at all that bad. The only concern here would be whether or not the franchise would want to add another bird theme to their freaking... Oh, wait a minute. We have the Philadelphia Eagles, we have the Seattle Seahawks, we have the Baltimore Ravens, the Atlanta Falcons. Let's might as well add the Washington Redhawks. I want to know from you guys, should the Washington Redskins change their name? I reposted a picture that Scuba posted, and this is from Jesse Ventura. Someone, for some reason, I've been supporting. And he goes, you ready for this? This is a letter, okay, from the senator, or a letter from senators to NFL commissioner, which is Roger Goodell. Jesse Ventura said, here's a list of the senators who signed the letter. I would gladly sign. Well, you're an idiot. The NFL can no longer ignore this. The use of this name is a racial slur. Really? Well, that's funny, because I got a comment from Ian. Thank you for the comment, Ian. Give me a freaking break. I'm part Indian, Chickasaw to be exact, and I don't find this offensive at all. If people only knew the true origin of how the name came about, and it's not from a racial slur or a negative derogatory remark, as some would believe, so I say keep it. Mr. Snyder, don't fall from pressure from idiots who don't know what they are talking about, because they are the same idiots that put Barry in the White House. Got a comment from Lori pointing up to Ian's post and said, agreed. If you'd like to call in about the Washington Redskins, 813-639-8255 is the phone number. It's just stupid. I'm sorry. I can't stand it. Seriously. The Maryland Crabs.
The crab people shall finally reign supreme.
Crab people, crab people.
Yeah. Crab people. Crab people. We'll be right back.
moving slowly, but I'm never showing hands. I'm never knowing where I've been going. All I see changes, killing me in all wrong places. What hurts the most is watching you just disappear without a clue. Created a monster from all the times I believed, finding out it was me who was always being deceived. Here we are now, trying to relive again, but how to begin? Seem to get lost in all that bullshit. No more stupid games. Everything is up in flames, and it's getting so deathly hot now, and I can't seem to figure out how.
Welcome back to the 2 Cent Sports and Entertainment Show. 813-639-8255, the phone number, toll free. And guess what, folks? We all know what time it is. Uh-oh, phone's ringing. Then let's mute that, because nobody wants to hear the phone ring. We all know what time it is, folks, and of course, we have to do it. Here we go.
There was something in the air that night. The stars were bright.
Fernando. That's right, we are joined by the one and only Fernando. Fernando, welcome to the 2 Cent Sports and Entertainment Show that is actually the coach going solo this morning. Welcome.
What's up with Scuba?
Scuba is actually working on his new home. He's trying to move out and then move in.
I thought maybe he was a little drunk from last night.
Well, anyway, I know you'd like to talk a little bit about the Storm game, Fernando, so... Well, let me ask you, because I gave, let me just give everyone the insight. I hooked you up, I got you the credentials, I got you media stuff, you got to hang out, you got to get the seats, you got the buffets.
I'm on the phone.
I got the buffets, you know, I got you what you needed. What was your single favorite moment of the night?
It was the fork thing, man. I pulled a fork, I was at the buffet, I pulled a fork, and it spit back at me. Like, that amazed my night. I don't even remember what the score was or what happened at the game. I was so amazed with that thing during the entire game. I was pulling that thing just repeatedly. They had to refill it like 20 times.
Right. It was almost like a freaking ray gun, just pew pew pew, and the thing.
It was amazing. I think I shot down like 3 people.
Yeah, I mean literally, folks. And for the ones that don't know, you walk up, you put your hand down, the thing just goes, and the thing just shoots out right in your face.
Exactly. It was amazing.
Now, I read the Cooper's consumption list, and I wanted you to hear it too. So the Cooper's consumption list: 3 brisket sandwiches, 7 cookies, a whole bunch of soda, a whole bunch of just miscellaneous things: Italian sausages, pasta, chicken, green beans, mashed potatoes, 7 cookies. Like, how do you feel about that?
Don't forget about the water.
Oh, that's right, the 1 cup of water.
No, it wasn't 1 cup. It was a lot. Well, that does kind of count as eating good. It's water.
Well, you know, and I told everyone it's like I set myself up for being called fat for the rest of my life. Well, and it's true, you know.
after what you ate last night, it could be.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Fernando, I know you don't remember much about the Storm game, okay? So that's why I wanted to ask you this, okay? You know how you and me and your is it stepdad? Is that what it is?
It's my mom's boyfriend, but yeah, I can consider him my stepdad.
Well, there you go. His name is Steve, just like Scuba. So every time I'd yell Steve, he'd look at me, and I'm like, okay, I wasn't talking to you. But anyway. The Washington Redskins don't want to change their name. Daniel Snyder, the owner, doesn't want to change it. GM Bruce Allen don't want to change it. Jay Gruden don't want to change it. The government wants to change it. And here's what they came up with. You ready for this?
Yeah.
The Washington Warriors. Really? You got to be kidding me.
Well, I like the Warriors because of Steinbrenner, but
right.
I think the thing with changing the name is extremely stupid because you got the Blackhawks in the NHL, the Seminoles in college.
Yes.
It's just, no one says anything about that stuff, but then when it comes to the NFL, they start saying stuff. And then the government, the senators, are saying, we're trying to take a stand like the NBA. The NBA is doing something for racism for blacks.
Yep.
And why don't they send it to the NHL or college football?
Thank you.
Or not college football, college altogether.
Right, just like I was saying earlier, and you nailed it on the head, Fernando. I was saying how it's, you want to talk about how the Redskins is technically racist and inappropriate. What's inappropriate is having a man jump on a horse painted up like an Indian who's not even Indian, riding on a horse into the middle of the football field
and throwing
a spear in the middle of the field. That's what's wrong. Now,
it's not even like the Redskins do any of it.
Thank you.
It's just a name.
Exactly.
For God's sake.
Exactly.
It's a name.
And let me tell you something. And they came up with some other ones, and they get funnier as we keep going. And I'm going to play a song that I was singing last night for one of them. The Washington Pigskins.
Pigskins?
The Pigskins.
That's an idiotic name.
Thank you. It's creative. A football is also known as a pigskin.
Yeah.
Who cares? The Washington Hogs. Oh, wait a minute. I know where they got that. They got that because they used to call the big studs of the line the Hogs. They were the first ones to do it. Okay. The Washington... Yeah, go ahead.
It's stupid,
Thank
these
you.
names.
You're right. Here's... They get better. The Washington Redhawks. But wait a minute, we don't already have the Philadelphia Eagles, the Seattle Seahawks, the Falcons, and the Ravens. Let's add the Redhawks to the mix. Okay.
This is getting...
Yeah. The Washington Senators. Okay. Well, let's see. The Senators who sent a letter to the Redskins think the Redskins is the name racist, so we should call them the Washington Senators. Ha ha! And here's the one. This is the best one. This was a bonus recommendation. And this is the song I was playing and singing the other night. You'll know it immediately. The Maryland Crabs. The Maryland Crabs.
The Maryland Crabs.
That's right. You ready for this?
Crab people.
Seriously? The Maryland Crabs, and it's because the team's not technically in Washington, it's technically in Maryland.
Maybe they can franchise a quarterback and call him Mr. Crab.
Listen, you heard the song, right?
Crab people, they're just like crabs.
Then they talk like people. Crab people.
I know it. I got it. They're gonna draft Jameis Winston.
Oh, that's great, dude. I never even made that connection. That's right. If they change their name to the Maryland Crabs, Jameis Winston will be their pick in a few years.
Exactly.
That's great. That's great. See, this is why we have Fernando on the show. It's because, he's he brings stuff to the show.
Fernando.
So, Fernando, I know you don't remember much about the Storm game, but how do you feel Randy Hippert looked after throwing 6 touchdowns on his game back from IR?
It was pretty good for him. He looks like he did those first 3 games.
Yeah, he looked great. He really did. You know, he looked extremely comfortable. You know, he looked great. He really did. Now,
it's a shame though that Amari got hurt.
Amari Jackson, number 11, one of our top receivers for the Tampa Bay Storm. Yes, he did. What were they saying? They said he broke his... Yeah, and Fernando is obsessed with number 11 because that's his football number. But so who... what were they saying? Broken thumb, broken finger? Is that what it was?
It was something like that.
Yeah.
But I talked to Lawrence Samuels. He said they'll put tape on it. They'll send it back out there next week.
Exactly. You just tape it up. You can't feel anything, and you just keep playing.
Exactly.
Now, let me ask you, and this is the big concern, the last question I got for you, unless you want to throw something else at me. The biggest concern for me was the the defensive lineman could not get off the Jacksonville line because the Jacksonville line was holding so much they just couldn't get off.
Definitely.
Now, all I said was to punch down, punch up, rip, swim, do whatever you can do to get off. And I definitely think that's something that they'll be working on in practice. What do you think?
Yeah, so that's something Hogan can. Clearly, the refs don't have their contacts in, so they couldn't see the holding. So that's something Hogan's got to work on this weekend, or this week, because that could happen the rest of the year.
Right.
If other teams watch film and see that there was no holding calls, and it was clearly holding, other teams will do it too.
Right, and remember, and this is something also, I was going off on that ref, and we have a tough schedule upcoming, and something many people don't know is we're actually still in playoff contention.
Definitely, yeah. With Orlando losing last night.
Right, Orlando lost last night. We have the Voodoo, which should be a nice, easy win. And then we have the Soul back at home, starting at 5 p.m., which makes no freaking sense at all. I don't understand that. But so, Fernando, I appreciate you coming on this show today. Is there anything else you would like to throw at the people about you, where they can check you out on social media, the upcoming Steinbrenner season?
You can check me out on Twitter at Malico11 or on Instagram at Fernando Malico11.
Now, is there anything you'd like to say about the Steinbrenner football season?
We're going to the playoffs this year. Quote me on that one.
All right. And, I'm an assistant coach for Steinbrenner, JV. And, I want to say we go to the playoffs. I want to say that we play great. It's just, I have my doubts. But it's...
If line can figure out how to get the snaps up,
yes,
and hold the defensive line for a couple seconds, get Clinton time to give the ball away or throw it.
Yep,
he's going to be in tip-top shape because we got Kezio, but we also have Cody, and Cody doesn't look that bad this year, neither does Moffitt or Bitter.
That's right. So make sure and come check it out. I actually, Fernando and I were talking to one of the Alonzo defensive back coaches last night after the game, the Storm game, and it was interesting listening to what he had to say. The first thing he said is, we had the game won, which was true. We had it won. But, Coach, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach Perez just wanted to get some more plays in, but now we're going to go into the season probably heads down because we lost already the spring game, and that could carry over. But who knows? Because last season, I heard that last season Steinbrenner beat Alonzo in the spring game, but then lost to Alonzo in the regular season.
That's true.
Who knows? Maybe since we lost to Alonzo in the spring game, we'll beat Alonzo this year in the regular season.
That's right. And you know what? I honestly...
We just don't know. We just got to keep working hard. This summer, we got to get back to the weights and keep conditioning. Then summer football is going to come up soon. We're going to start padding up again. It's going to be August sooner than we know it.
And you know what? I'm glad that you have a positive attitude, because honestly, I've talked to some of the players and I've tried to get them on this show, and I'm having a hard time doing it. However, we are going to try and get Kezio Snelling, who you mentioned earlier, who actually got an offer from a D1 Cincinnati.
Yes, it's pretty good for him.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm happy for Kezio. He's a great guy. Could be a role model for me.
Yeah, and he's definitely someone to look up to. But Fernando, we greatly appreciate what you do for this show. We love you to death.
Thank you.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, Zach.
Yeah, go Knowles.
Go Gators.
Yeah, remember, actually, you know what? Now I got to keep you on. Fernando and I were arguing last night about the Gators, and that was really entertaining. I thought he was going to either cry or hit me. I wasn't sure.
I wasn't going to cry. I think you know what I was going to do, but you're lucky we're brothers.
That's right, man. That's right. What he did for me last night was the single greatest thing anyone could ever do.
Definitely.
All right, Fernando, take care, brother.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Now we're old and gray, Fernando. Since many years I haven't seen a rifle in your hand. Can you?
That was beautiful. Truly. All right. Well, we're up against the top. Actually, geez, that call took a lot longer than I thought it would. It's 12:21. We will be right back on the 2 Cent Sports and Entertainment Show talking a little bit about your Tampa Bay Rays.
End of the world, and I stare into the abyss. I look back and wipe a tear from my eye and reminisce about the times that I had. How could they have been better? Maybe have I now write my name and thank you letter. See, I think about my daughter, how she'll never know a dad. I gaze upon my shoes and see the pair my father had. Should I be mad or maybe sad? Nah, I should be glad. If I was in her life, it'd be worse than the one she had. Cheating on my wife, it was my new 9 to 5. I gave the clap so many times. Applause fills my mind. I'm a king on the throne. Reality, I'm a drone. If home is where the heart is, then I truly am alone. You wanna know a man? Walk a mile in his shoes. Don't be so quick to pass judgment on the path that he choose. This is my story and the author is you. So where's my happy ending, cause it's long overdue. I'm tired of this life, constantly burdened by strife. Eternally joining me like husband and wife. I am the alpha and omega, beginning to the end. As death hand approaches, let that second act begin. Trials and tribulation, got me facing imagination. Got us praying for a savior, cause the end is what we're facing. Have a good time, it was good ride while it lasts. Can't afford to end the win is what we know. I hope that I last it. Lives have led us to there. We're feeling so simple. With me. So why, with feelings like these, do we feel we're simple? With me. Similar in the physical form, but what I put up ain't your typical storm. You turn your back cause you wanna, I refuse to do the same thing. Rather spend my life in the chain gang. Turn my back on my daughter cause I'm proud with a mama. What kind of weak man is that? No father took the honor, that's garbage. And up in the sauce, cause me not being there is considered a loss. It's about to get real hard like brick walls, still ain't strideways. Cause no dash against all till they die away. And when they fly away, look down, see what you raise. So when she look up, it won't be sideways. Cause kids nowadays, boy, they need that guidance. Without that, they bad, they were sneaking like quick. Cause that's what I did. Gave my mom so much stress. Without a man, I didn't get my high kick. I should've known, thrown emotion, put on the spot. For us to be a man without being raised by a pop. But all debate can stop, dog. I does my niggas the beat. Rising side in the heat. Hollow the drum line installed in my brain. Thoughts and failures that I get from you. But I would never ever let them come true. I see you in the mirror and can't let them get to me. There's nowhere in here that I will ever let you live with me. Lives have led us to there. We're feeling so simple. With me. So why, with feelings like these, do we feel we're simple? With me.
Michael G. Butash, attorney at law, is a former state prosecutor with substantial experience in handling all criminal and DUI matters. When you are facing charges, you want someone who aggressively defends cases ranging from minor traffic infractions to serious violent first-degree felonies. Call attorney Butash and together you'll discuss your case in person or by phone. He accepts most major credit cards and also offers payment plans. Call attorney Michael G. Butash today for your initial free consultation.
Which is the best investment you could ever make? Welcome back to the 2 Cent Sports and Entertainment Show. Butash and Donovan, 813-341-2232. Again, 813-341-2232. Check him out on www.butashdonovan.com. You know, I apologize for the long break. I was eating some animal crackers, which are my single favorite cookie. And it's weird because I scarfed down on all the chocolate chip cookies at the forum. Yeah, I would choose animal crackers over anything. Remember, guys, if you'd like to call in about anything we've discussed today, Washington Redskins, AAC baseball, any college baseball, anything, call us, 813-639-8255 or 813-NEW-TALK. And I'm posting right now about our next topic, your Tampa Bay Rays. Rays, baby. Way to come through. Ownage. You guys destroyed last night, you know, well, not destroyed, but I was extremely impressed. And I know that you guys are annoyed with hearing the typing, but I'm trying to do it as fast as possible because during breaks, I'm too busy eating animal crackers. We beat the Red Sox in 15 innings. 15 innings. We won. Was it 6-5? It was 6-5. Congratulations. Ramos, way to come through, bud. Way to come through. Because, honestly, our Rays pitching staff has not been too good. Really hasn't. You know, when you sit here and you think about it, the Rays haven't done well. At all. But you know something? Joe Madden, who everyone's like, oh, you should fire Joe Madden, you should fire Joe Madden. Why? With the amount of money that the Rays are able to spend, you're upset at Madden's job. Okay. Well, you're stupid. With the money that the Rays have been able to spend and the talent that we have, Madden has done a fantastic job. It's the truth. At least I think so. If you disagree with me on the Tampa Bay Rays, give me a call, 813-639-8255, or if you'd like to call and agree with me, 813-639-8255. Phone number going to be flashed on my screen in about 3, 2 now. Oh! You like that face? You like that beautiful face? I do too. And there it is, 813-639-8255. I apologize if there's any technical issues. You know, hosting a show and producing a show is really not the easiest thing in the world. So, the Tampa Bay Rays, baby. Coming off a big win, dropping the Red Sox to another loss. I believe they're on a 9-game losing streak, I want to say. But you know what? What bothers me the most about the Tampa Bay Rays is how they can't hit. They cannot hit the freaking ball. When you have a lineup of Evan Longoria, Will Myers, Ben Zobrist, Ryan Hannigan, who in my opinion, and this is for anyone who sits here and defends Jose Molina, he's done great for a catcher. He's solid with his numbers. He's solid. For anyone that disagrees with me, I would love for you to call in and tell me I'm wrong, because I will sit here and argue with you all day long. 813-639-8255, the phone number. It's sickening to know that the Rays won't get some more money in there. I mean, you know, the Yankees are, I believe the Yankees are in first place, okay? How can they not be in first place? Have you taken a look at their roster? Have you taken a look at everything? The pitching, the actual infield and outfield, the batting averages. Have you seen this? In my opinion, and I'm not a Yankee fan by any means, but I think, to be quite honest with you, they could make an all-star team pretty much out of the Yankees. Listen to this. Your catcher is Brian McCann. You have Derek Jeter, Kelly Johnson, Brian Roberts, Mark Teixeira. You have Jacoby Ellsbury, Brett Gardner, Alfonso Soriano, and Ichiro Suzuki. When you have pitchers like Masahiro Tanaka throwing fantastic, you know, you can make an all-star team out of that lineup. But of course, there's always that one that'll disagree with me. That's always that one that'll sit there and be like, "Oh, well, the Red Sox have exactly. The Red Sox don't have anybody. What do they got? They have what? Dustin Pedroia." And I'm serious. I'm looking up their roster right now. I'm going to compare it to the Yankees roster. And you know, yeah, here we go. They have A.J. Pierzynski at catcher. Now they have, you ready for this? Mike Karp, okay, Stephen Drew, Will Middlebrooks, who's hurt, Mike Napoli, and Dustin Pedroia. And their outfield consists of Grady Sizemore, Johnny Gomes, and a hurt Shane Victorino, so they're using Daniel Nava. And of course, David Ortiz is the DH. You got nothing anymore, Boston. You have nothing. I'm just kidding. They have something, but not much. Sorry. What I know is how Scuba and I both said that the Rays were going to win this division. You know how stupid we look right now? 813-639-8255. You'd like to join in on the conversation about the Rays, about the Yankees, about anything. Give me a call. 813-639-8255. Trying to get somebody right now who knows a little bit about some Rays baseball. He attends a lot of the games. He's a staff writer for the Tampa Bay Times. He goes to USF. He hosts a great radio program. Trying to get him on the show right now. Get his insight on the Rays. But you know what? Yu Darvish. You know, we were talking about him last week. I want to know what the barrier is for this man. But Zach, what does that mean? That means Yu Darvish has thrown several one-hitters, but he can't seem to get the no-hitter. And this isn't one of those things where it's like Armando Galarraga's game was robbed, which it was extremely pathetically robbed. And unfortunately, I can sit here and definitely say for a fact that Armando Galarraga will probably never have another game like that in his career. He's throwing like crap. But Yu Darvish, get that no-hitter, buddy. You can do it. I know baseball is kind of my weak point, and I know that's kind of why I'm trying to, fill up time and just keep going with it, trying to wait for some callers on it, because I know that we're going to have tons of callers on that subject. So what I'm going to do right now is I have some other news that I would like to discuss. I have some other news that I would like to discuss. Coming up with things in Yahoo News and CNN. And of course, last night's UFC pay-per-view. We'll be right back on the 2 Cent Show.
And me, so say the stars, it's meant to be. My heart is for you, my soul is too. I pledge my life, one day you'll be my wife. I swear this much is true. Oh, I don't wanna love no one but you. Hold it, she fell for it. She thinks I'm in love. No, son, just here for fun. Sex is the only thing I love, 'cause I'm that dude. Yeah, I'm that dude. 'Cause I'm that dude. Cause I'm that dude. Well, it's Friday night and I'm all alone, so I pick up the phone. Hey Tiffany, yeah, it's me. I know it's been a while since I called. Well, my dog died and I lost my job, and I'm out here on the So baby, please, could you come and come for me? I'm about to lose my head. Hold it, she fell for it again. She thinks I'm in love. No, son, just here for fun. Fucking is the only thing I love, 'cause I'm that dude. Still on the phone, you fucking jerk. Yeah, I'm that dude. 'Cause I'm that dude. 'Cause I'm that dude. Yeah, I'm that dude.
Is that not the greatest song you've ever heard? Uh-oh, that phone keeps ringing, and I'm sorry. You know, like I said, you call in the show, and then we'll call you right back.
System.
You know what I mean? That's how it works here on the 2 Cent Sports and Entertainment Show. 813-639-8255, the phone number, toll free. Give us a call, you cheap Bastards. Joining us right now, I believe the man's name is Steve, and I believe Steve wanted to speak about the Washington Redskins, and no, this isn't Scuba Steve.
Hey.
Scuba, you're not Scuba Steve. This is Steve. Steve, wanting to talk about the Washington Redskins. Welcome to the 2 Cent Show. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Great. So I touched on the Washington Redskins, and I figured I would go down some of the things with you. But first off, what's your opinion on the name change, or a name change?
Well, I don't think they should have a name change. There's too much history behind the Washington Redskins. So that's just my opinion on it. Why change it?
No, I agree with you 100%. I really do. And, I had a caller earlier named Fernando, who is one of our top callers, calls in every single week. And the Senate and the government and a few other people actually put together some names that would work, okay, that people would like to change the name to. And I figured I should let you in on this, and you'll start laughing when I give you the names. You ready for this?
I am.
The Washington Warriors. Okay. That's pretty stupid. All right, now you'll laugh at this one. The Washington Pigskins. Why? Because a football is known as a pigskin. Okay. Let's keep going. You'll like this. You ready for that? The Washington Hogs. Oh, I get it.
Yeah, I like the Hogs, but I wouldn't change the name to the Hogs.
That's right.
I mean, the Hogs are actually, history in itself right
exactly,
there.
Exactly. The Washington Senators. That's stupid, because the team is what? Located in Washington, D.C.?
Yep.
That's stupid. Extremely stupid. Now here, you'll like this. I swear you'll like this. This was a bonus recommendation thrown in, and the Maryland Crabs. The Maryland Crabs. What do you think?
No. I look at it this way. In 1937, that's when they became, really even before then, but, the Redskins. So why change the name now? I mean, why all of a sudden, you got 50 senators now that want to change the name, but, why weren't they talking about that 10 years ago, 20 years ago?
Right. And you want to, you're so right. You are so right.
Why now?
Right. And what Fernando and I were also talking about, and I was talking about before you called in, what about the Chicago Blackhawks? What about the Florida State Seminoles having a guy dressed up as an Indian riding on a horse out to the field and sticking a spear in the middle of the field?
Right. Are you going to change the name to the Redskins Potatoes?
Exactly.
So, where does it end? That's the way you got to look at it.
Maybe we should add that to the recommendation list. The Washington Redskins
potatoes.
The
Redskins potatoes. And they might get angry with that too. I'm not sure.
You never know. All right, Steve. Is there anything else you'd like to add about the Redskins? Wait a minute. How about the Storm? Did you enjoy your experience last night?
I did. I had a great time.
Good. Yeah. That's what I'm like to hear. Fernando caught on and mentioned how he enjoyed the Shooting Forks.
Yeah. I really didn't watch that too much. I didn't get the fork. It really didn't interest me that much. But, yeah, it was nice to see, first couple of times in my life, I guess.
Well,
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
See it before, I guess.
Well, and
maybe if they shot further, maybe.
Yes, right. and I'm glad you had a great time last night. I'm glad I got to hook you up with the stuff and got you some good food. I read the Cooper's. I read the Cooper's. Yeah, I read the Cooper's consumption list earlier. It was pretty interesting. Actually, it was a 2-page list.
Oh, what you ate?
Yeah.
You go with that? All right, go on. Does everybody know yet?
Everyone does, but here we go. You ready for this? Because I like repeating it because I enjoy being called fat. Here we go. Because I actually had a person earlier tweet me and say I was fat.
I've seen him eat a lot of this stuff, so I know it's true.
3 brisket sandwiches, an Italian sausage, 7 chocolate chip cookies, 4 cups of soda, 2 cups of water. I stole some Gatorade from the Storm. I had, mashed potatoes, green beans, some pasta. I had like 5 rolls, which I forgot to mention. I had, what was that? It was about 7 cookies. I had a handful of pretzels filled with peanut butter, and I had, what was it else? I know I had more. Oh, and I had some cantaloupe. And, wait, no, that's not it. Yeah.
No, you had a lot of cookies.
I did have a lot of cookies.
Yeah, you did. I think you only gave 1 cookie away.
I did. I gave one to Scuba, that's right, but I think I had like 6 or 7 cookies before that.
Yeah, you were up there in the cookie count. You were up there, man.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Steve, hey, man, I greatly appreciate the call. Take care. Have a great rest of your Sunday.
You did the same.
Hey, thanks. Thanks, Steve, for the phone call. That was a great phone call. He sat there and he witnessed me eating all that food. Never realized how fat I was. That's rough. 813-639-8255. So wait a minute, that's not 1 but 2 people. No, wait a minute, not 2 but 3 people who say that the Redskins should not change their name. Scuba's getting a little outnumbered. And I got a feeling that I guarantee you, with our fans and our listeners, I will outnumber the Senate. Those 50 senators too. I will outnumber their ass. And you know what? No one can tell me that I won't. Because it's ridiculous how you have to sit here and be mad, over something that's stupid. 813-639-8255. Gonna get our UFC correspondent, the man who calls himself, he is our UFC correspondent. That is Dane. Dane, welcome to the 2 Cent Show.
How you doing, Mr. Zachary Cooper?
I'm great. Doing the show solo today. Scuba working on getting into a new home, so it's just the coach today.
Yeah, it's all good in the hood, man. All right, so you asked me to talk about the fights. I'm ready to talk about the fights.
He's ready to talk about the fights.
Well, last night was UFC 173, of course. Pretty good stuff. There's only 3 interesting fights on the card. You had Robbie Lawler versus Ellenberger.
Yep.
Cormier versus Henderson. And then, of course, you had Dillashaw versus Brow. I'll start off with Lawler and Ellenberger. Ellenberger, the last couple of fights, has not looked good at all. He doesn't have that confidence that he used to. And it really showed last night when Robbie Lawler just picked him apart. You could tell before the fight that Robbie Lawler had the confidence in him, knowing that he just went 5 rounds with the champ prior 5 weeks earlier. I didn't feel like there was any chance of an upset on here, and that really showed. Lawler finished him with a TKO in the 3rd round, starting off with a stiff jab that I think his knuckle went into his eye or maybe the orbital bone. Ellenberger felt it. Lawler went in, hit him with a knee. Ellenberger dropped, and I think Ellenberger just quit on himself after the 1st round.
Yeah.
And he showed a lot last night. A lot of fighters did that. They quit. And, I mean, that's what you don't want to see when you have top-level guys facing top-level guys.
No, and I agree. And, it seems like, honest to God, I was watching, and unfortunately it's the 2nd tier, I was watching Bellator. Those guys quit. What's up with these guys starting to just quit their fights when they're getting beat down? I've seen people come back in the score. I see people come back knocking others out. What's going on?
I mean, I think it's the fact that it's such a high-level competition now, and it's such a mental game, most of all. And people say it's so physical, but really, in all reality, it is mental, 100%. You have to think about what you're going to do. You prepare for 8 weeks, and you forget most of it. Your adrenaline's running. It's just all that elements built up all together, and just didn't click for Ellenberger last night, and that really showed.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and let's move forward. And a fight that shocked me, Cormier versus Henderson.
I don't think it really didn't shock me, Cooper, at all. I mean, I had Cormier winning this fight, and I still have him facing Jones. And you have Jones facing Gustafsson soon, but I still feel like Cormier is the biggest threat. I mean, I saw a domination from Cormier, but that was an absolute domination to the point where you think it's a 30-year-old versus a 10-year-old. He ragdolled him around, and I don't know if you saw the throw in the 3rd round whenever he got in a double leg and lifted him up, but he did the same thing to Josh Barnett, who's let's say, about 50 to 60 pounds heavier than Dan Henderson.
Yeah.
It just shows, as much as Daniel Cormier may not be as strong as others, he has a wrestling experience. His muscles are used to firing off that way, and his explosiveness that no one else can touch. I mean, in his wrestling shows, he is truly the best wrestler in MMA. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what I and maybe the reason it shocks me is because what I remember most about Dan Henderson is knocking Bisping out cold, because that's my favorite fight ever.
Yep. But I mean, like I said, MMA is such an evolved game now.
Yes.
Where you can't have only just one tool. I mean, Cormier, works with the heavyweight champ. He works with Rockhold. He's in a camp where, he gets the best people out of everybody. Henderson doesn't really have anybody. I mean, as much as he loves to say he's 43, my bad, but because he loves the sport and all this stuff, but you got to train with the best, and, I don't see that happening with him. As much as people like to say he's a two-time Olympian wrestling versus wrestling, Henderson I'm pretty sure Henderson hasn't taken someone down in close to 2 years and hasn't controlled someone. I mean, Lyoto Machida took him down a couple times, you know what I mean? It's just, it's, Dan Henderson, if he wants to continue fighting, he's going to have to go down to middleweight.
Yep.
But for Daniel Cormier, the sky's the limit. And, as much as Cormier wants to say, look, I want to wait for Jones and Gustafsson, Jones only wants to fight 2 times a year.
Yeah.
I mean, and does Cormier really want to wait a year? You know what I mean? He's getting older. He's still at the top of his level. He's at the peak, 35, 36 is where this guy starts getting good. But I still think the interesting thing for Cormier is to face Rashad Evans. Again, the original fight he had about 2 or 3 months ago. I think that'd be the best fight for him. That really shows, although Cormier, I think, is the best 205er besides Jones, he still has to prove himself one more to get to build a fight up. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I know exactly what you mean. I really do. Let's see. What else did we have? You wanted to mention, was it Dillashaw or was it the Ferguson fight? I couldn't remember which one you wanted to do.
It was Dillashaw versus
Dillashaw
Brow.
versus Brow.
I mean, did you watch the fight last night, Cooper?
No, I was actually at the Tampa Bay Storm game watching the Tampa Bay Storm win 56-35.
Well, you wouldn't be missed. Henry Brow got totally dominated in every single form and fashion, Cooper. Every single form and fashion. Joe Rogan said afterwards it was the best punch he's ever seen in his life. I thought so too. You can tell when title fights are different. You know what I mean? You can tell when someone has a chance and someone has no chance.
Right.
With Dillashaw, you didn't really know because he's kind of unheard of. Not really unheard, but he's been training with Uriah Faber, Team Alpha Male, all these best lower weight classes. And, he had some about him. He had that swagger. When they weighed in, he didn't look the other way. He looked straight at Brow. And he had that confidence that no one else had before him. It's preparation and mental preparation, too. And Dillashaw really had that. And, you saw it in the first round. Brow was flat-footed, and I really believe it contributed to his weight cut. Brow cuts about 20 to 30 pounds. Dillashaw doesn't really do that, maybe 10 to 15.
Right.
But Dillashaw was light on his feet. You could tell he worked his ass off during his training camp. I'm talking movement, left to right, constantly moving.
Right.
In the first round, Dillashaw hit him with an amazing right hand. It was over top. It was a bomb. It dropped Brow. Everybody thought it was going to be done right there. No one knew Dillashaw had that type of power. It kept going on through the second, third, fourth. He kept peppering him, just outclassing him in every single way. When Dana White said Brow was the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
Right.
I mean, and Dillashaw showed that, he had that confidence. And I think Brow may be the better fighter, but that night Dillashaw was on it. Dillashaw was on, and it's different with fighting. And in the 5th round, Dillashaw really showed. Most guys would just wait and take the win in the 5th round, but Dillashaw went right after him, landed a solid head kick. Brow was wobbled again like he was the entire fight, dropped him and finished him, and it was awesome, man. I mean, it was a great fight because it showed, the heart of somebody like Dillashaw to go in there, not care what people say, have his own mindset.
Right. No, I'm with you. And it's, I wish I was as big as a UFC fan as I used to. Unfortunately, doing the Storm games, I don't get a chance to catch most of it. But let me tell you, here's something, and I'm sure, did you watch the Bellator pay-per-view a few weeks ago? Hello? I wonder if we lost him. I wonder if he went to mute. All right, well, what we'll do is we'll give him a call back. Because I think that, since we were touching on the Bellator last week in Scuba, we were like, Dane probably couldn't come on. And then remember, guys, this is Dane, our UFC correspondent. He talks all UFC talk, Bellator talk, MMA talk is really what he does. All right, well, I don't know what the heck happened, Dane, but you know what? You're back. Did you watch the Bellator fight, the pay-per-view a few weeks ago?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to get you on last week, but I think we barely even got a chance to touch on the Bellator pay-per-view. What did you think? I mean, my God, those were some god-awful fights.
Well, I mean, you're going to find that when you have all these top-tier guys going to the UFC. I mean, if Dana White could, he could buy Bellator out. I think it's more of a laughing stock than anything now. This is 2 straight times where their pay-per-view main event has fallen through due to injury, and that you can't do that. You mean, your pay-per-view is supposed to make you money, and it most likely made them money. But you have Lamberts versus King Mo, 2 guys that can fight on live television. It's a live television fight. It's not a pay-per-view fight. I'm not willing to pay $60 for that, you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, then you also have... Because the intriguing part about the pay-per-view was Chandler versus Alvarez. Nobody saw that. I wanted to see Chandler Alvarez. I saw the second fight, I saw the first fight. It was absolutely amazing. These guys went at it. And the surprising thing was Chandler lost to Will Brooks. I mean, I think it was the fact that, like I said, you overlook your opponent. You know what I mean? If you overlook your opponent in MMA, you're going to get beat. All these guys say when they lose, I overlooked them. That's the truth in the matter. I mean, you can't overlook anybody. It's one shot. I can finish the job.
Yep. And here's in the last thing I got for you, because we're running up against time, is, there's one big, and this is something you would definitely know a lot more about than I would. It seems, though, that when you have big names on a UFC card or a Bellator card or whatever, it doesn't, the fights may not come through. You have UFC 175, and the big fights, I mean, this is a huge card, and this is upcoming, I mean, this is July 5th, this is a while, but Chris Weidman, Latoya Machida, Ronda Rousey, Alexis Davis, Chael Sonnen, and Vanderlei Silva, I hope Silva kicks his ass, Uriah Faber, it's just these huge names. And let me ask you, how come when you have these huge names, sometimes the card just may not come through?
Because of the fact that everybody goes into the fight with an injury. Nobody goes into a fight when you train for 8 weeks hard on your body and not be injured when you go into the fight. Everybody has something. I mean, they tough it out, obviously, but when you have those big-name guys, I mean, it's just honestly MMA guys just telling you, look, somebody's going to get hurt and stuff like that. But UFC 75 card, that is sick. That is an amazing card if you think about it. I mean, you have top-tier guys, and I can see it breaking a couple pay-per-view records for the UFC.
Yeah, and something I've also been noticing, Ronda Rousey has been fighting a lot on these big pay-per-view cards, and I think she's had maybe 3 fights already this year, if I'm not mistaken?
I believe 2. No, actually 1, because the fact that her last fight was right before 2013 ended.
Oh,
but,
that's right.
Ronda Rousey is probably people will consider Ronda Rousey being the biggest name in MMA. Not the best fighter, but the biggest name. I mean, because she gets the whole nationwide attention. Women fighting UFC is still a big deal right now. She's such a polarizing figure. I mean,
and she ain't that bad looking.
She's like the Hulk Hogan of MMA right now.
That's right.
Like when Hulk Hogan was in the 80s, that's her right now.
Yeah, and it really seems like it. Now, last question before I got to get you off because we're heading up on that time. Anderson Silva, what's it looking like for his future?
He shouldn't come back 2015. I mean, if he does, I feel like there's no use to get the title. I feel like you need to make super fights when he comes back. Get those super fights in, get the money. You know what I mean? There's no reason for him to come back, obviously, but he still has the drive. I mean, I feel like you should pair him up with somebody middleweight, or some fight that's very intriguing.
Yes.
Because I don't think he has any shot versus Chris Weidman at all after. People will say that Weidman fluked on both of those. Those are 2 dominations. The second fight, he grounded him, he knocked him down in the first, and there was nothing Silva had that Weidman couldn't do. Now, I still think the best fight possible for Silva would be either Silva versus Bisping or Silva versus Nick Diaz. I think those are the 2 most intriguing fights that people would want to see happen, and I think those are the best options for him because he has no shot at the title, honestly, in my opinion.
Well, and as you just said, and and I'd like to back you up on the fluke. The first fight, Anderson Silva played around. He stuck his face out there. He played around. He really did. And he got hit with one and got knocked with another, and boom, there was the fight.
Yeah, it's one shot. I mean, people over-exaggerate, but it is one shot. And like Dillashaw did at Barao yesterday, I mean, Weidman had that swag, he had that confidence, he had that knowing of, all right, this guy's not better than me. He's not some mortal god. He's just a human being and could get hit once and he's out. And that's what happened. I mean, Silva's done that, played around with 17 other fighters, and he finally got caught. It happens in a sport like this.
Yep.
But the second fight was a complete domination by Weidman, and it really showed. I think Danielson was scared. He knew that this guy was better than him, and it really showed in the fight.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Well, Dane, I appreciate you talking the UFC with us. Now, you know, since I'm the coach and I can do whatever I want because our ratings are great and go over time, have you heard recently about the Washington Redskins, the Senate sending a letter to the Redskins telling them they need to change their name?
Yeah, you know, I heard about that. I mean, I think it's pretty funny stuff.
Well, you know, what's really fun is, and I've been doing this with every caller I've had, which is a good amount, we've been talking about what the Senate proposed and what some other fans that are opposed to the Redskins name have proposed to have them change their name to, such as the Washington Warriors, the Washington Pigskins, the Washington Hogs, the Washington Senators, and of course the bonus recommendation was the Maryland Crabs. What do you think?
Usually people don't really want crabs. I'm pretty sure that's not something you want. The Pigskins, I like that, honestly, but I don't think it's a good name. I think the best option would be the Warriors. It really, you know, you're in Washington, D.C., you have, you know, all these memorials for the wars and stuff like that. The Warriors are a good name, but, you know, I'm kind of thinking of a name off the top of my head right now that would be pretty funny. Why not the Washington freaking... What is it now? God, the Washington. Frick, I don't even know. How about the Washington Cherokees? Or just the NFL will mess with those Senators, or give them just some weird racist
Well, and what
Indian
pisses
name.
me off, it's like they sit here and they also say the Washington Redhawks, but we already have the Eagles, the Seahawks, the Falcons, and the Ravens, so why put another freaking bird in there?
I mean, birds are pretty majestic, Cooper. I mean, they're a sight to be seen, and who doesn't love watching a bird fly, honestly?
I know, I'm with you, you know, and it's like every time ladies and gentlemen, your Maryland Crabs.
If you can't beat, man, when all the crab people shall finally reign supreme.
Crab people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now that would be great. Now that I would be happy with.
Yes. I mean, I feel like just move the Washington Redskins up to London. You know, expand your NFL thing. Call them the freaking...
The London Silly Nannies.
The Washington Spaghetti Meatballs or something like that. I don't, you know...
No, I agree.
You know, NFL's a joke in a lot of ways now, where playing football, it's entertainment.
Thank you. You were so right on that, too. You know what was funny is actually a caller earlier suggested, you know, if they change their name to the Maryland Crabs, the first pick should be Jameis Winston. Yeah, I laughed at that pretty hard, too. I'm not going to lie. You know, you're right, though. The NFL has become pretty pathetic. I mean, you can't hit anybody in the head. They're trying to make a new rule where you really can't go knees below. Where the hell are you supposed to tackle somebody? Give me a break.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you. I mean, the fact is football is a dangerous sport. Any sport is physical, and you can't deny that. And you can't. When people hold back on tackles, that's when most people get hurt. When they hold their head down or they try to not tackle as hard as they can.
Exactly.
They lead with their head. They get more injuries, and it slows the game down.
Exactly. And you know what they're doing, and this is what's pathetic. It's like they're trying to make that rule where you really can't go knees below. You can't dive at the knees. Well, let me ask you a question. If you can't go like chest up to hit somebody because you can't give them a concussion, where are you supposed to go? You know, that's the thing. It's like Roger Goodell makes these rules, and he wonders, oh, well, people are now starting to tear their ACLs a lot more than they got concussion. I wonder why. It's because you have said that we're not allowed to hit anybody up top, so now we got to hit them down low, tear their ACL. You know, really?
Yeah. I mean, injuries are going to happen in any sport.
Absolutely.
And if you try to, you know, deny them or try to prevent them, they're going to happen more. I mean, just let them loose. Let them play the game they love to play. Let them do what they've been doing ever since they were 5 years old.
Yeah.
In the street. I mean, I know kids that are 5 years old that are taking harder hits on the street than some of these NFL guys.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Yeah. Well, thanks, Dane. I appreciate the call. Dane Coleman, our UFC correspondent. Thanks, man.
I like the title.
Thank you. Take care. Dane Coleman, what a stud. Well, that's it for the 2 Cent Sports and Entertainment Show today, all hosted by the coach. Check out the Facebook page, 2 Cent Sports and Entertainment Show. Give us a like, comment, tell us what you like, what you don't like about the show. Also, post on our page some stories that you would like us to discuss, or just direct messages stories you'd like us to talk about. Add me on Facebook, Zachary Cooper. Check me out on Twitter at 2 Cent Zach, because I am the man. Check me out on Instagram, 2 Cent Zach. You know, that kind of stuck. Everyone's like, oh, hey, 2 Cent Zach. I'm like, shut your mouth. Thank you to our sponsors, Bootash and Donovan. 813-341-2232 if you need an attorney. Tech Media Partners, thank you so much for your recent sponsorship. You've done a hell of a lot for the show. We greatly appreciate that. That's Tech Media Partners of techmediapartners.com. If you need things, I'm going to pull up their website just to make sure I don't fool anybody. I don't want to make sure I give wrong information, so I'm going to pull up their website right now. Also, check out Taylor Wilsey's YouTube channel. That is MEHH. It's Taylor, or Meh, it's Taylor. If you guys need to contact Tech Media Partners, 813-443-8235. They do some great things. They do, listen to this. Listen to this. You're going to love it. They have T1 lines, MPLSs with managed routers. They have fibers, DS3s and up, copper business lines, cable and modern services, disaster recovery, all, internet, T1, cables, Ethernet. They do all these great things. Tech Media Partners, providing more than 25 years of service. We bring over 25 years of solution sales, contract negotiations, customer support, and project management. We streamlined the whole bid process, bypassing countless hours spent in appointments meeting with multiple vendors in order to receive a quote. We provide a consultative solution based on your needs and work directly with the providers in order to achieve the outcome. With one phone call, we connect you to the services you need to make sure your business is handled the day-to-day operations. Multiple quotes provided. Contact them, 813-443-8235, or email them at quote@techmediapartners.com. That is the wrap for the show. I also forgot, of course, MakeTheRightImpact.com. Thank you for working with me on creating the website for the 2 Cent Show. It should be up fairly soon. That's right, folks. I am all done. I've got literally zilch left to talk about. Now, that's obscure. That is really weird. That I've got nothing else to talk about, That's weird. Because normally I can run my mouth all day. We'd like to thank you very much. Good thanks from me. And of course, I know Scuba thanks each and every one of you for being such a great part of this show. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the coach saying goodbye. And I love you all.
This program was brought to you by the Internet Broadcasting Organization, setting the standard for new media broadcasting.